Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to today's weekly Sohbet and Dhikr. I wish everybody well. I hope you are having a nice evening if you're in the UK. And if you're elsewhere in the world, whatever time of the day it is, I hope you're having a good day or a good evening. So, today, it's a very important concept within Islam, which is coming into my heart to discuss. And it is the concept of justice. Because a lot of people talk about this. And a lot of people talk about Sharia. In the Sharia, it says this. And of course, when brothers and sisters say in the Sharia it means this, it invariably means they've either read something in the Quran or in a hadith, which gives them the impression that the Sharia says what they think it says. Now, of course, the Sharia is not a person. The Sharia is not a human being. So when we say the Sharia says, it's not like there's a Sharia there and say, "Hi Sharia, how are you today? What do you say on this subject?" It's of course not. Sharia is a concept. It's not a person. A Sharia can't talk to us. So what is the concept of Sharia? And Sharia is basically, we can discuss it from the origin of the word. The word itself, it means a road or a path. A road or a path, which indicates a direction. It is something which we are therefore striving towards. It's not an absolute concept which is always the same throughout all time. Sharia is not like that. Sharia is something which, the very word itself, by being a road, it is a road or a path to something. This tells us something about what Sharia actually is, just in the description. It is a direction. It is something we aim for. It's not something which is absolute. It's not something which, it's said one way 1,000 years ago and it's the same thing 100 years later or 200 years later. The principles it's based upon, they will apply for all time. But the way those principles are applied will obviously vary according to time and place, according to local cultural situation, according to actual situations which happen, which might look similar but are actually different when we analyze them. If we made the same decisions in all of these situations, it would be unjust. So Sharia cannot be that. And this is very important to understand, because today we have people, they read one or two hadith and they start talking about the Sharia says this or the Sharia says that. They don't realize that those hadith are evidences which are used in trying to understand what the Sharia should be and how it should be applied. But they don't understand that those hadith are not the be-all and end-all of Sharia. Sharia is a concept, and it is, as its name indicates, it points to a direction. It is something we aim for. We aim for, what is Sharia in English? Law. Law and justice. That's what it is really about. It's if you look at law in any country, it is something which varies over time, something which needs to be developed. If we look at laws in England, and you go back 100 years ago, there was no laws on air traffic control. There was no road laws. There was no laws on a lot of things, because they simply didn't exist at those times. Now, today, we need laws on air traffic control, because if we don't have laws regulating air traffic control, then what will happen? We will have disaster in the skies. We will have aeroplanes crashing into each other. We will have all sorts of problems. So you need laws on air traffic control because we are now flying. we need road laws because people drive cars today. In the past, they would have had other kinds of road laws that applied to people who rode horses or rode carts. But today, we need road laws that not talking about just cars or even individual drivers, but laws that regulate buses, coaches, heavy goods vehicles. In Australia, they have something really strange as well. They have these lorry trains. It looks like a train. It's actually a lorry with lots of trailers behind it, like a train, but it's not on tracks. It's on the road. Now, of course, you cannot apply exactly the same legislation to a lorry train as you would apply to a personal driver driving a normal car. One, there's an aspect of law, but there's also an aspect of training. Because surely driving those things on the roads and the motorways, it's inherently dangerous. But in Australia, if they don't have railways everywhere, they need to do it that way. So, situations vary even today from one place to another place. So we have to bear this in mind when we discuss the concept of Sharia. We cannot just get some hadith that comes from a society that was very different to our own 1400 years ago and just apply what was said there and then exactly in a very different time and place today. Now, some people would say, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah. Aki, what are you talking about? These are the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And of course, if the hadith is sahih, and that's a good question as well, is the hadith sahih? Have you checked? Have you checked his chain of narration? Have you checked who was in that chain? Have you checked the meaning? Is the meaning sahih? The chain itself might appear to be sahih, but is the meaning sahih? Is the meaning authentic? The chain, it could come with a chain that's been written with it that looks like it's authentic, but if the meaning is something completely ridiculous, are we going to attribute that to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Or are we going to put that to one side and say, well, it looks like it's sahih according to the chain, but do I believe that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that? Now, you're probably thinking, well, what's he on about? It's a hadith. Well, that's the problem. Therein is the problem. The hadith is not the Quran. The Quran, the whole of the Quran is sahih. Because this is the words of Allah. This is our revelation that was given to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for the whole of our human family. That is sahih, and that's a book within Islam. That's above everything else. And the Quran itself says it is the Furqan that actually helps you to decide between what is right and what is wrong. And we have to apply that Furqan to the hadith. It shouldn't work the other way around, because the hadith were written by scholars, and they were according to the best of what they could work out from what they heard and from what they based it upon. Those things that they wrote down were the words of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as best as they understood, writing 100 or 200 years later. This is like the Gospels that are written in the Bible. And many Muslims will say, yes, well, they were written 100 or 200 years later. Maybe something is not exactly written correctly. Well, if you're going to say that about the Christian Bible, don't you think the same thing would apply to the hadith that were also written a couple of hundred years after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Use your logic. It's obvious, the same principle is going to apply in both situations. Now, does that mean I throw the hadith out? Does that mean I'm a Quranist and I don't accept the hadith? Astaghfirullah, of course it doesn't. You see, this again is a problem that comes from this madrasa type thinking, that it's either left or right. It's either black or white. It's either right or it's wrong. Well, that is a problem in thinking. Look at a rainbow. Is a rainbow black or white? Is a rainbow red or blue? Green or yellow? How many colours are in the rainbow? Are you going to tell me what colour it is? Because this is the problem with the way people are talking about our deen today. They're talking about our deen and about situations that are like that rainbow, and one person is saying it's black, the other person is saying it's right, another person is saying it's red, another one is saying it's blue. And they can't see all the colours. This is a problem in their own way of perceiving things according to the way that they have been trained. And if we take such people as our teachers, when they cannot see the colours in the rainbow, how are they going to be able to guide us? How are they going to be able to teach us the deen? One of them will be telling you it's black, the other one will be saying it's white. And, actually it's not black or white. It's not even either of these. It's somewhere in the middle. Maybe it's grey. Maybe it's another colour on the spectrum. You think Allah's creation is in black and white? Open your eyes. Open your eyes. You look behind me, even this thing. How many colours are on there? How many colours am I wearing? You look out your window. Okay, it's night time now. It's dark in the UK. If you're in the UK, you look outside, it will look quite dark, but you'll still see colours. If you look in the daytime, how many colours will you see? If the sun is out, it will be amazing. If the sun isn't out, maybe there's less colours that you will see, but you will still see colours. It's not black and white outside. You look at the whole earth. How many colours? Now you think this same principle doesn't apply to every situation that we face in life? Especially with how everything has changed through the centuries? This is a problem in a way of approaching Islam that is taught in madrasas. Because people learn hadith, they memorize hadith, and then whatever hadith that they've memorized, which again is only going to be a fraction of the actual number of hadith which exist, and they are judging based upon that, based not just on those hadith but also on what they've been told those hadith mean, based not just upon what is written in the Quran but what they understand to be written upon the Quran according to their teachers and according to the tafsirs which they have read. Who's to say those are the only ways of looking at those ayat? Who's to say that is the only meaning that can be derived from them for all situations? The Prophet Muhammad himself, peace and blessings be upon him, said in his last sermon to take these words that I give you now and to take them to the next generation and the next generation. Keep retelling these words, pass them on. Because maybe someone will understand later on something which you didn't understand. Why would the Prophet Muhammad say that if the only way of approaching the Quran and these hadith is the ways that they were approached hundreds of years ago? Why would he say that? Are we going to call Rasulullah a liar? That's tough for Allah. Whoever does that is, what deen are they on? Clearly, the best way of looking at this is to say, okay, maybe, just maybe, let's put our nafs aside, let's put our ego aside, and we can have a religious ego as well. Just maybe, I don't have all the answers. If we do that, just a very simple point, and it's a point of humility. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the last and the seal of the prophets. The last and the seal of the prophets. How humble was the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He had every reason not to be humble. He's the last and the seal of the prophets. He was incredibly humble. You look at the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Look at the life of the Messenger of Allah. When he was in Medina, was the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, not the king of Medina? De facto, in principle, in the way he actually ruled Medina, was he not the king? But when asked if he would like to take the title of king, he said, no, I cannot do that. Because King Suleiman is the greatest king. And I cannot take that from him. If you call me king, people will say the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the greatest king. No. King Suleiman alayhi salam was the greatest king. SubhanAllah, this is humility. This is humility. And not just in that example, in so many examples in the life of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we see humility. when the Treaty of Hudaybiyah was being written, and the Quraysh came back and they says, Muhammad, we know you as Muhammad ibn Abdullah. We don't recognize you as the Prophet of Allah. He says, okay, strike it off. He didn't press the point. He wanted to get the treaty. The treaty was the most important thing. So he could get peace. He could establish peace between the Muslims and the Quraysh. This is more valuable than his title. Allah knows who he is. Allah knows who the Messenger of Allah is. He didn't need to make a fuss about it. His job was to make a treaty at that particular time, to make peace, so the Muslims could go and do Hajj the next year, so the Muslims wouldn't be being killed. He didn't press the point home about saying, oh, I am the Messenger of Allah. He knows those who understood that, they understood that. Those who don't, they won't understand it. Unless maybe something opens for them and they will understand it. But if that doesn't happen, they won't understand it. The people today, they still don't understand it. And there are others who really understand who the Messenger of Allah is. So, he didn't press that home. That again shows humility. And we could go on. There are so many examples, too many examples from the life of the Messenger of Allah, which prove just how humble the man was. He's the Messenger of Allah. He is our Rasul. He is our Prophet. How are we trying to emulate that? Or are we going to stand up there and say, no, I know what Islam says. I know what it says in this ayah and it means this. No other way of understanding it. Ibn Kathir said in his tafsir that it means this. Well, no disrespect to Ibn Kathir, but there's things that Ibn Kathir didn't even know. Things that have happened since the time of Ibn Kathir. But the Quran is for all time, so maybe there was other things that the Quran was referring to that Ibn Kathir didn't know. Because he was a human being. A great scholar. I am not going to take that away from him. I'm not saying anything bad about Ibn Kathir. But at the same time, he was a scholar of his times. All of the scholars were. It does not mean that we take exactly what they said hundreds of years ago and just say that's the only way of understanding it. Sure, we read it. We have to read it. We have to understand what they said so we can get a better understanding. But don't limit it to just their understanding. If we've got access to more up-to-date science, if we've got access to facts and things which they couldn't have known when they wrote those tafsir, how does that make sense? In the time of the Prophet Muhammad himself, people were reading Quran in, I think it was about 7 different ways. The Prophet Muhammad when asked about this, he didn't say, oh, they're wrong. There's only this way of reading it. He said, no, there's several different ways you can read the Quran. This is in a hadith as well. So, why are we taking the harsher approach? Instead of taking the approach that maybe there's more to this that we can understand. There is more that the Quran can give us. There is more that the Hadith can teach us if we look at them in a more open-minded way, instead of restricting ourselves to a certain way of understanding that has been taught in madrasas for a few hundred years. And that's not to say that everything that's taught in a madrasa is wrong. It's not to say that all the madrasa teachers are no good. I am not saying that. Please, if any of you are thinking that, I am not saying that. I respect all teachers who do a good job and teach their students. But at the same time, let's not limit ourselves to ideas which are hundreds of years old, which were the best that people could come up with in those times. You look at any subject, if we were to limit it to that, how would we have developed anything? In the last few days, I've been watching some episodes of a Turkish series called Yunus Emre. And in those first few episodes, it's interesting, and I recommend you to watch them if you haven't seen the series. Can't say what happens later on in the series. I only just started watching it. But those first few episodes are interesting. Because when Yunus Emre, he finishes his training in madrasa to become a judge. And he's sent off to a city to become the judge of that city. And on his way there, a few things happen. He gets robbed while he's staying in a caravanserai. It's like an inn on the way. And as he gets, that causes him to have to walk there. And a little bit before that, he already met an old man, who he just thought was an old man. He didn't think anything special. Except when the old man spoke, he says, wow, for an illiterate, uneducated guy, you say some quite profound things. And then he walks on after he's been robbed in this inn, and he has to travel on by walking. He's lost his horse as well. And he comes across this same old man. And they get chatting on the way as they go into, as he heads towards the city where he's going to become the judge. And again, he has conversations with this old man. And he's thinking he's talking to an illiterate old man because he doesn't have a madrasa training. Or so he presumes. But this old man says some things which he's never thought of before. Some things which are really profound. Anyway, I'm not going to go into all of it because it'd be good if you could watch it yourselves. But later on it turns out that this old man, who he just thought was an old man, happens to be the local sheikh. That's based not far from where he's based as the judge. And this old man is actually running a whole centre for dervishes. He's a proper Sufi sheikh. Which is, of course, why he has tremendous insights, because he has been trained. He had his sheikh, whoever his sheikh was. And his sheikh trained him. But not in the madrasa way. His sheikh trained him within tariqat way. And then something happens which the judge has to make a judge on. He has to make a judgment, And he actually judges that this person should be executed for committing murder. And this sheikh disagrees with him. And it's very, very interesting if you watch this and see the interaction between the judge and the sheikh. Because the judge is understanding things one way and the sheikh is understanding things another way. And they're both good. The sheikh himself doesn't say anything bad about the judge. He actually praises him. He says, no, he's a good judge. Because the sheikh knows, according to what the judge has been taught, he thinks he's doing the right thing. He's sincere. He's following through on what he's been taught. He's acting upon the knowledge that he's been given. So he's not bad. But at the same time, it's like what I was talking about earlier. There are many colours in the rainbow. And this judge has just decided it's either red or blue or green. He's not seeing the full spectrum. He's not seeing that there was a lot more going on than what he saw and what he based his judgment on. As a result, he's actually not just on this decision, he's actually making lots of terrible decisions as a judge. And yet all of those decisions are technically correct according to his understanding of Sharia. Technically correct. Not everything that's technically correct is the truth. Not everything that's technically correct is right. If you don't see the full picture and you act upon what you understand, you can make a decision. And we've all done this in our lives, decisions on all manner of things. And then we found out later that we didn't make the right decision. With hindsight, we realised we didn't have all of the information. And maybe if we'd have had more information or more education in one area or another area that we were lacking when we made that decision, we may have made a better decision. I think everybody's done that. It's the same principle. There are different ways of learning. There are different sciences. There are different branches of knowledge. Would you ask someone who is an expert in English to teach you maths? Or someone who's an expert in maths to teach you English? Some will have expertise in different fields. It's better. But it's the same principle again. And in certain subjects, like in this case in Yunus Emre, where the man is a judge, he actually needs to understand different disciplines. He needs to understand things from different perspectives, because what his basic training as a judge was in madrasa only gives him a percentage of the knowledge and understanding which he needs in order to be a judge. He's been told that's the full thing. But actually, it's not. He might be qualified on paper enough that he could be appointed as a judge, but he wasn't really qualified to the full extent of what he needs in order to be a good judge. And this is what they're revealing in those few episodes at the beginning of Yunus Emre. So it's very important that we keep a level of humility and develop our understanding, and not jumping to conclusions about things when we don't have the full facts and we don't have the full picture. And this principle, it applies to all sorts of things. It applies to Islam. It applies to the news. When you're trying to understand what's going on in the world. And it's also, with the craziness that's going on these days, that is really, really important. You know, you can't really understand everything that's going on if you only have a few pieces of the picture. Yet some people, from those few pieces, they will make a whole picture, and they will fill in all the bits, because they, if you imagine if you've got a jigsaw, you know, jigsaw with these cut out pieces, and you know, it's like somebody's like, they've only got like 10 pieces and they've filled in all the bits, they've drew it themselves. Well, that might not be what the jigsaw puzzle is actually making. It may or it may not be. The more pieces you have, if you put them in there, then you'll be able to fill in the gaps yourself, and you'll be able to see what it is. But if you only have maybe, I don't know, 5% of the pieces, or 2% of the pieces, how can you make that picture? If you have 90% of the pieces, yeah, you probably can fill in that 10%, and it would be fairly accurate as to what was missing. But not if it's the other end of the scale, where you only have 10% and 90% is missing. So please, I hope you see what I'm saying, and you benefit from this, because it is something I've seen in the 20 years I've been a Muslim. I see it all the time, over 20 years, and we have to learn from that. We can't continue to go forward. I mean, it's not surprising we have problems in our community when we have that situation. When we have people seeing things as black and white, and then not just seeing things as black and white and saying it and then just moving on, but stipulating, no, this is how it is. We must do it this way. This is the only way. You're wrong. What kind of Islam are you following? And this is what I've heard over the past 20 years. Seriously. Are we going to make any progress that way? I don't think so. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yes, Pakistani, that is interesting. It is a common wisdom in programming. Yeah, you will find this wisdom. Not everything is technically correct is the truth, and not everything that is technically correct is right. It is true. It is something which you will read elsewhere. It is something which is in Islam, but a lot of people don't realize it. Why do you think it is a tradition within Islam that if we do not know something, if we're not sure about something, we are taught to say, Allah knows best. Allah knows best. Not to stipulate that this is the way it is, but to say, okay, Allah knows best. What does this mean? It means maybe I have what I've been taught, but maybe there's something I don't know. And maybe there's something nobody knows, that only Allah knows. If we are too rigid and take ourselves too seriously on what we say is right and what is wrong, how can we be on the truth? Imam Malik, may Allah bless him, was offered to be able to make his fiqh, his jurisprudence, the official jurisprudence of the state. He declined it. He didn't want that because he knew if that was made the official jurisprudence of the state, it would result in injustice. Because people would use him as the authority. Imam Malik said this. No, he said it's one among many different approaches. He did not want his put there. And, but alas, today, how many people have humility? But as Muslims, it is something we should develop. It is something we should try to have. Because if we look all of the Muslims in the past, all of the great scholars, certainly the awliya Allah in the past, and all of the prophets before them, they were all very humble people. They were not proud people. They were not people who followed their egos or their nafs. They were not people who says that I know, without accepting that maybe there's other ways of understanding things. And all of them, even if they were a bit more forthright on what they were saying, all of them understood that Allah knows best. Allah knows best. If there's any doubt in anything, always refer the matter back to Allah, and don't put yourself in a position where you're making a judgment on something which could be going against what is haqq, going against what is truth. Don't put yourself in that situation. If you don't know, say you don't know. It's actually a mark of understanding and scholarship and knowledge to acknowledge you don't know something, rather than to claim that you know when you do not know. I think time's getting on a bit, so I will close this there. And some thoughts for you to take away, inshallah. And I will start the zikr for this week. Before we start zikr, we should always check our intentions and make sure that we are doing this purely for the pleasure of God, purely for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. نويت العبين نويت الأسرة نويت القوة نويت الاعتكاف نويت السلوك نويت الريادة لله تعالى في هدى جميع. And we start with the kalima shahada. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alaihi wasallam. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. We seek Allah's forgiveness by reading Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah, 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 astaghfirullah. أستغفر العظيم الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه. إنه هو التواب الرحيم. يا مسبب الأسباب، يا مفتح الأبواب، يا مقلب قلوب والأبصار، يا دلائل المتخيرين، يا غاية المستخيرين، يا حي يا قيوم يا ذو الجلال والإكرام. وفريد أمري الله، إن الله بصير بالعباد. Rabbi Tashrifa, direct your heart to the heart of your Sheikh. Fatiha Sharifa, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim, sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim, ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim, sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim, ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. صلوات الشريفة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وسلم. 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 اللهم صل على محمد وعلى Ali Muhammadin wa salim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Ali Muhammadin wa salim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Ali Muhammadin wa salim. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وسلم 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 اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وسلم. بسم الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن من يسرا إن من يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب إلى ربك فارغب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن من يسرا إن من يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب إلى ربك فارغب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن من يسرا إن من يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب إلى ربك فارغب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن من يسرا إن من يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب إلى ربك فارغب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن من يسرا إن من يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب إلى ربك فارغب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن من يسرا إن من يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب إلى ربك فارغب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل والله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل والله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل والله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل والله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل والله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل والله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل والله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل والله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل والله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل والله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل والله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد فاتحة الشريفة بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلوات الشفاء اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وسلم 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 أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي كاديتيتني من الملك وألمتني من تبارها حديث فاتير السماوات والأرض أنت وليه في الدنيا والآخرة توفاني مسلما ولكني بالصالحين آمنا بالله صدق الله العظيم سبحان ربك والرب ذات ما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين إلا الشرف نبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وآله وصحبه الكرام وإلى واهي أنبياء ومرسلين وكرماء شرعهم وإلى إماتي أبوا وإلى مشايخنا في تariqat Naqshbandi عالية كستاني لا آري خواجگان الفاتحة بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين There is no God but God. La ilaha illallah. 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 illallah, la ilaha 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 illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم إلا الشرف نبي وعلي وصحبه الرب وإلا وعيسى سنتين والصديقيون الفاتحة بسم الله الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. The remembrance of God. In Arabic, Allah. Allah, 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 Allahu Allah, 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 Allahu Allah, 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 Allahu 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 Allah, 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 Allahu Allah, 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 Allahu Allah, 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 Allahu Allah, Allah, Allah. Everywhere is Allah, Allah, Allah. Everywhere is Allah, Allah, Allah. Allah, 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 Allah. We love you, Allah, Allah, Allah. We love you, Allah, Allah, Allah. We thank you, Allah, Allah, Allah. We love you, Allah, Allah, Allah. With nothing without you, Allah, Allah, Allah. Nothing without you, Allah, Allah, Allah. Everything's from you, Allah, Allah. Everything's from you, Allah, Allah, Allah. Allah, 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 Allah. حسبنا ونعم الوكيل ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Allah is always with you. Who represents this? Who Allah is truth. Haq, 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 haq. Allah is the ever living. Hey, 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 hey. حسب الله ونعم الوكيل ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله الله حق، 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 الله الله هي، 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 Allahu Allahai, Allahu Allahai, Allahu Allahai, Allahu Allahai, Allahu Allahai, Allahu Allahai, Allahai ya Qayyub, 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 Allahai ya Qayyub. حسبنا ذاك ولبك ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Calling on the beautiful names of Allah. Yahu, Yahu, Ya Daib. Yahu, Yahu, Ya Daib. Yahu, Yahu, Ya Daib. Allah Yahu Ya Daib. Ya Daib, Ya Daib, Ya Daib, Ya Allah. Ya Daib, Ya Daib, Ya Daib, Ya Allah. Ya Halib, Ya Halib, Ya Halib, Ya Allah. Ya Halib, Ya Halib, Ya Halib, Ya Allah. Ya Hafiz, Ya Hafiz, Ya Hafiz, Ya Allah. Ya Hafiz, Ya Hafiz, Ya Hafiz, Ya Allah. Ya Latif, Ya Latif, Ya Latif, Ya Allah. Ya Latif, Ya Latif, Ya Latif, Ya Allah. Ya Ghafar, Ya Ghafar, Ya Ghafar, Ya Allah. Ya Ghafar, Ya Ghafar, Ya Ghafar, Ya Allah. Bismillah. Ya Sata, Ya Sata, Ya Sata, Ya Allah. Ya Sata, Ya Sata, Ya Sata, Ya Allah. Ya Fata, Ya Fata, Ya Fata, Ya Allah. Ya Fata, Ya Fata, Ya Fata, Ya Allah. Ya Mujib, Ya Mujib, Ya Mujib, Ya Allah. Ya Mujib, Ya Mujib, Ya Mujib, Ya Allah. Ya Mu'in, Ya Mu'in, Ya Mu'in, Ya Allah. Ya Mu'in, Ya Mu'in, Ya Mu'in, Ya Allah. Ya Mughith, Ya Mughith, Ya Mughith, Ya Allah. Ya Mughith, Ya Mughith, Ya Mughith, Ya Allah. Ya Wadud, Ya Wadud, Ya Wadud, Ya Allah. Ya Wadud, Ya Wadud, Ya Wadud, Ya Allah. Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Rahim, Ya Kareem, Ya Rahim, Ya Kareem, Ya Rahim, Ya Kareem, Ya Rahim, Ya Kareem, Ya Hanan, Ya Mannan, Ya Hanan, Ya Mannan, Ya Hanan, Ya Mannan, Ya Hanan, Ya Mannan, Ya Dayyan, Ya Subhan, Ya Dayyan, Ya Subhan, Ya Dayyan, Ya Subhan, Ya Dayyan, Ya Subhan, Ya Subhan, Ya Sultan, Ya Subhan, Ya Sultan, Ya Subhan, Ya Sultan, Ya Subhan, Ya Sultan, Ya Sultan, Ya Sultan, Ya Sultan, Ya Allah, Ya Sultan, Ya Sultan, Ya Sultan, Ya Allah, Ya Aman, Ya Aman, Ya Aman, Ya Allah. Ya Aman, Ya Aman, Ya Aman, Ya Allah. Ya Salam, Ya Salam, Ya Salam, Ya Allah. Ya Salam, Ya Salam, Ya Salam, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Qul huwa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Ali Muhammadin wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Ali Muhammadin wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Ali Muhammadin wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Ali Muhammadin wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Ali Muhammadin wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Ali Muhammadin wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Ali Muhammadin wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Ali Muhammadin wa sallim. صلي ربي وسلم على جميع أنبيائه والمرسلين وعلى كل أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. على أشرف الأنبياء سيدنا محمد صلوات على أفضل الأنبياء سيدنا محمد صلوات على أكبر الأنبياء سيدنا محمد صلوات صلوات الله وبركاته وأنبيائه ورسوله وجميع خلقه على محمد وعلى آل محمد عليه وآله السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته وريراه تبارك وتعالى سنتينا شعب رسول الله أجمعين ولتبينا بهم بإحسان ولمشترين الدين ولعلماء المتقين ولعلماء الصالحين وعما شاكينا في تركات نقشبندية تالية كنسنا وهم زكية ودولة درات مباركة ونرى ترارين من بركاتهم وفيوناتهم دائما والحمد لله رب العالمين الفاتحة بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. O Allah, shower your blessings upon the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his noble family, and upon all of the previous prophets and their noble families, and upon the Ahlul Bayt, especially Imams Ali, Hassan, Hussein, Zayn al-Abidin, and Jafar Sadiq, but all of the Ahlul Bayt, the Sahaba Ikram, the Khilafah Rashideen, the Ulama, the Uliya, and especially my Sheikh Sufi Abdullah and Mulana Sheikh Nazim. Ya Allah, bless their souls for all eternity and raise their stations in the heavens in your divine presence. O Allah, shower your blessings also on Sunan Gurung Jati, upon all of the Wali Sangha, Sheikh Youssef in South Africa, and also Kiai Adang Badruddin. Ya Allah, raise their stations in your divine presence and bless their souls for all eternity. O Allah, shower your blessings also upon my beloved father, and bless his soul for all eternity, and raise his stations in the heavens. O Allah, shower your blessings upon my mother and my mother-in-law and my father-in-law. Grant them good health and well-being and long life. And forgive them for any mistakes they made in life up until this point. And grant them to always be under your divine blessings and guidance and support. O Allah, shower your blessings upon my brother and my sister, my brothers and sisters-in-law, and all of my nieces and nephews. Ya Allah, shower your blessings upon them. Grant them your divine protection. Help them with any issues which they have, whether health-related, economic-related, any issues which they have, Ya Allah. Grant them always to be under your divine blessing and guidance. Forgive them for any mistakes that they make, and grant them the best of this life and the best of the hereafter. O Allah, shower your divine protection and special blessings upon my beloved wife and our children, Sophia, Athena, and Elizabeth. O Allah, shower your blessings upon our family. Grant our family your divine protection. Grant our family to be forgiven for any mistakes any of us have made, and grant us to always be under your divine guidance and support. O Allah, shower your blessings upon my children, and make that they never stray too far from the path, and always return back to it, and always are under your divine protection and guidance. O Allah, shower your blessings upon us. Grant us to always have the resources which we need to be able to support our family, and also to be able to take care of our responsibilities to society, to our human family, for your sake. O Allah, shower your blessings upon all of my friends, especially those friends who have been with me through difficult times, especially Sheikh Rabi and Nisha, Mohammed Rafiq and his family, Nasa and his family, Mohammed Abasi and his family, Dr. Khurshid and his family, Sheikh Hisham Kabani and his family, Sheikh Mohammed Adil and his family, Sheikh Mohammed Amin and his family, Sheikh Dawood Rosaoud and his family, Haris and his family, Fiaz and his family, Idris and his family, Hassan and his family, Imran and his family, Ishtiaq and his family. Ya Allah, bless all of my friends, bless everybody who's connected to me, however they are connected to me, whether through the Naqshbandi tariqat, the Association of British Muslims, Nahdlatul Ulama, or the University of Birmingham chaplaincy, or the many different networks that I am a member of, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, however people are connected to me, make this a means of connection through me to my sheikhs, and through my sheikhs and their sheikhs through to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and through the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the divine presence. Ya Allah, make this as a channel through which blessings and guidance may flow, and help each and every one of them with whichever difficulties and challenges which they have in their lives, and help each and every one of them to connect with you, Ya Allah, to be able to lift the veil of their hearts to be able to connect with you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, shower your blessings, guidance and support on each and every one of them. And bless everyone in our human family. Ya Allah, forgive us for all our many flaws as human beings. Forgive us for our many sins as human beings. Forgive us for our stupidity as human beings. Oh Allah, shower us your blessings upon us and grant us your support, not because we deserve it, but because it is in your divine nature. Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Kareem, Ya Ghafar, Ya Wadud, Ya Allah, we beseech you. There is nowhere else for us to turn. We can only turn to you, Ya Allah. There's only you we can turn to. For ultimately everything ultimately comes from you. Our lives come from you. Our souls come from you. Everything, Ya Allah, everything in this world, everything in the universes all come from you, Ya Allah. We can only turn back to you, Ya Allah. And we beseech your help and support, and especially in the times which we face at the moment, with all of the challenges and darkness in these times, with all the confusion, with all the lies and fake news, Ya Allah, we beseech your divine support and forgiveness and blessing upon us, Ya Allah. Grant protection to our families, grant support to our families, grant protection and support to all the good in our societies, all the good people, everything that is good within our societies, Ya Allah. We ask your divine protection and blessing upon all that is good, and to sweep away that which is corruption and badness, Ya Allah, that which is harmful, Ya Allah. At least protect us from it, Ya Allah. Protect us and protect our families, Ya Allah. We beseech your divine support and blessings through these challenging times, Ya Allah. And protect us all from illnesses and viruses. Protect us all from what is harmful to us, Ya Allah. We turn to you, Ya Allah. There is nowhere else for us to turn. Ya Allah, forgive us, and grant us your protection and support. Oh Allah, we beseech you, and we thank you, Ya Allah, and we apologize for not thanking you enough, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, inspire all of our hearts to remember you more, Ya Allah, to thank you more for all of the blessings which you grant us each and every day, the blessings which we forget to thank you for, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, let us not be among those who take these things for granted. Inspire our hearts so that we can give you thanks at least. Ya Allah, forgive us. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. Al-Fatiha, bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin, ar-rahmanir-rahim, maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, ihdinas siratal mustaqim, siratal ladzina an'amta 'alayhim ghayril maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. Amin. اللهم بارك ثواب ما قرناه ونور ما ترمناه ودية وسيلة من إلى روح نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وإلا أنبياء وإلا أولياء قصة لروح نقشبند وإلى الشيخ الدولة فايز نقشبندي وإلى زندبية وإلى صوفي الدولة وإلى مولانا الشيخ نازم وإلى مولانا الشيخ الشام وإلى قياية دنق بدر الدين وإلى الشيخ بادشاه وإلى الشيخ حبيب الله وإلى الشيخ داود وإلى الشيخ محمد وإلى الشيخ نور وإلى الصغير سنتين والصديقيون واستدينا الفاتحة بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. Assalamu alaikum. I hope everybody benefits from this, and I will do my Friday reflections tomorrow. If you find these videos useful, please subscribe to my Facebook, my Instagram, my YouTube, so you can keep updated. And I wish you all of the very best. I need to go now because I'm actually slightly late for my next meeting, but I wish you all the best. And next week I should be back at the normal time at 6:30. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.